Hi everyone and welcome back. So in this video we are going to be starting with file handling in C. So we are going to be reading from text files, writing to text files and all of that. So let's dive right into it. The first thing that I need to do is create a file pointer. So I say file star and let's just call this file pointer fptr for file pointer, and this basically gives me what file I want to point to. So let's say I wanted to work with multiple files in the same C program. I could make fptr1, fptr2, fptr3 and so on, and this file pointer is going to tell me which file I'm reading from or which file I'm writing to, all of that. So next what I want to do is I want to use the fopen function, and fopen just stands for file open. So I want to open a file, and I've already created a file here. It just says hello there, and the file name is test.txt. So what I want to do here is I want to enter a string here which is test.txt. This is the path to the file that I want to open, and if I don't mention a complete path, it just looks in my present working directory. But if I wanted, I could give it an absolute path as well. In case of Windows, it could start from something like D and something like that. In a Linux machine, it would start from the /. So I can give it either an absolute path or a relative path. So using this, I'm just opening the file, and what this does is it gives me the file pointer in return. So I need to do fptr equals fopen, and next I also need to mention another argument. And the reason I need another argument is to mention what mode to open the file in. So I could be in a pure reading mode, that would be an R. I could be in a pure writing mode, that would be a W. I could also be in something like an append mode, which is A. And there are other modes, which is basically R plus and W plus. And both R plus and W plus mean that I want read plus write. So R plus means read plus write, and W plus means read plus write as well. But there's a slight difference between those, and we'll talk about that later. Right now I just want the file for reading, and that's all we're going to be doing in this video. So I say fopen test.txt and then in reading mode, and next what I want to do is I want a string now. So I just do a char str, let's say, and I give this something like a space of 20 characters. So that's my string. And the way to get something from a file, the way to read from a file, is to use either use an Scanf, or I can also use fgetc, which stands for get character. So this F here again stands for file, so file get character. So I want to get a character from a file. And if you remember your normal getc, the way it works is I need to mention a character here. So let's just try fgetc first, and within fgetc I just need to give the file pointer. So what this line means is basically get me a character from a file. Which file? The file that that's pointed to by fptr, and whatever character you get, store it in this right here. This should be str actually, sorry about that. And then let's just print the character out. So I do a %c and then str of 0. So this is my program right here, and there's one important thing that I still need to do, which is close the file. And it's very important that we close any files that we open, because otherwise these files remain open. They're still taking up my memory. So until I shut down my system, the file is just going to stay in my memory, and it's going to basically occupy resources. So it's important that I close the file, and to close the file, it's again a function that I use, which is fclose, file close. And which file do you want to close? I give it fptr, and that's it. That's my first program for my uh, file. And here let's just check that capital H is the character that we want, that we expect this to print. And let's go ahead and compile this. So gcc file handling .c -o file handling, and let's try running it. So as you can see, I've got a capital H here. So that's how I can read from a file. And once again, I can also read using an fscanf. So I do an fscanf, and what I need to do here in fscanf is basically just give it the file pointer first. So we are basically saying that I want to read from this file, and then we need to just work like a normal scanf. We give it a %s here, and then we give it str. So let's go ahead and try this out now. Let's clear this, and actually we are just printing out the first character. So let's just go ahead and make this a %s too. Let's try running it now. So as you can see, it gives me hello, and it of course gives me hello because there's a space after the hello, and I just mentioned a %s here. So if I want till the new line, let's say, then I should do a \n here. I hope you remember this. This is from our discussion on strings. So let's go ahead and try it again. And here we are with hello there, our entire file. Actually, this is not the entire file, it's just till I hit a new line. So that's basically how we can read strings from a file. And I can of course do something like %s, and then write str1 here, char str2, and then just give it again a space of 20, and then just mention both str1 and str2 here. So this part right here is just like any other scanf, and I can of course copy this and write this here as well. Let's just add a \n here, and this will be str1, str2. Let's try this out. So as you can see, I've got hello in the first line, and then a new line because I have a new line here, and then it prints there and the exclamation. So that's how I can read from a file. And I could also do something like write an integer here, and let's save this, and let's just comment this out. Actually, we can comment this out too. And now all I need to do is I just write int n, let's say, and then an fscanf fptr. So read from this file, and what do I want to read? I want to read an integer and store it in n. This should be an &n. So that's how scanf works, if you remember. So I do a printf now, and I say %d, and let's just say I print n+5 now. So let's go here, and as you can see, it gave me 128, whereas I have 123 here. And I just did the +5 to show that n is being treated as any other integer. I can do any arithmetic operations that I want with it. So basically this fptr just mentions what file I need to read from. So that's basically how we can read from a file, and we look at writing to files in the next video. So I'll see you there.